evening and welcome to Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network of Sports. On today's edition of the show, we shall take an in-depth review on the UEFA Champions League matches, plus other stories are revolving around the world of sport. It promises to be an exciting edition of the show today. We'll take a short break, and when we come back from this break, more straight, of course, to all that you need to know are revolving around the world of sports at the moment. Please stay with us.
Right now, and we can see some of the changes that is trying to effect in different sporting departments generally. So for me, I just want to say that his 100 days in office has been very fair. If I must, assess him and weigh him in a scale of balance, I think I would say I will give him 5 over 10 for the now. I think he has done fairly well. All right.
So what do you make of Minister John Owani? What are your expectations from him going forward? Because the last time talking about the former minister, Mr. Sunday Dare, he actually, of course, tilted aside towards athletics, and we saw a huge development. When it comes to athletics, he brought up the Adopt an Athlete initiative, where we saw so many, corporate bodies coming in to sponsor athletes. But
well, for me, I think as a sport minister, he must not pin him down or pin him down to one particular department. He must
not be on a particular, like at least he was able to put the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in place. But we saw what he did when it comes to athletics. He was very much particular, about athletics in the country. And during his time, we saw, of course, our athletes put, and she also told that same direction of Sunday Dare. At least one thing we should understand here is that whenever we have a minister, the minister should be able, of course, to take a look at a particular, thing to do, in the country. I think for me, if the next 3 years, or probably in the next 10,
maintenance of the infrastructure that have gone obsolete, and then again try to create or invent new places, new infrastructure where we can have a perfect place that our sportmen and women can also go there, to showcase their talent. Then again, the area of boxing, we know that we were forced to be reckoned with in the past. When you talk about boxing, at least we can mention 1 or 2 names, the likes of Bashale, the likes of Samuel Peter, just to mention but a few. But these days, it seems our, the area of boxing have taken a nosedive.
Rivers United 0.
I think it's a poor one
Rivers
from
Angels, I beg your pardon.
It's a poor one from Rivers Angels, as they do. I still strongly believe they can be able to bounce back, to reckoning. But it wasn't a very good, start for them again. But we caught them that slacks because we still have many games to go. This is just the beginning of the leagues, and some of the players have not been able to gel. That understanding possibly is not there because of the fact that maybe during the off-season, they were not able to, camp very well and play many friendly matches so that some of the players can get acquainted to the pattern and philosophy of the coach. Don't forget, they brought in 1 or 2 new players into the fold, and you expect this player to, blend very well as the time, or rather as the league progresses on. They are going to, blend together. So for me, I think there's no cause for worry yet, because this is match day 3. There's still time for them to, gel and get to understand themselves better.
Remo Stars, of course. Remo Star ladies, they played 1-1 draw against Bayelsa Queens. Dana ladies played goalless against National Museum. First win of the season as the beat Adamawa Queens 2 goals to 1. First win of the season for Niger Retus. They're on the maybe side.
A great one for them. They at least that will give them morale and confidence going forward. Don't forget, on maybe since she came back from the World Cup and since coming back home to steps of those games, even in their first game where they lost, their second game where they lost, it goes a whole long way to, some of your, your hero, because she's being looked upon as a leader, as a hero there for them. So for me, I think it's a great one. Even after the halftime of, their victory, she was able to talk to the girls, motivate them, giving them some pep talk. I think this is the quality of a leader out there. And with this, with her presence in the team, and with this first victory out of 3 games, they are going to build on that going forward.
All right, let's see how it goes. Of course, for Niger Rattles going forward in the Nigerian Women Football League, it was match the 3, and of course, it's really getting interesting at the moment. But yesterday was also a game, a rescheduled encounter between Enyimba Football Club and Remo Stars, and it was so unfortunate that Enyimba, of course, they lost that particular one, at their home ground.
Well, that is football for you. There's nothing unfortunate about it. After all, Enyimba is not the first team to lose a home game this season. We've seen other couple of teams.
The last time Enyimba lost at home was in 2022. That was, I think, the month of July 2022 against Heartland. That was the last time they lost at home.
Yeah, but record are set, and record is as well is meant to be broken. And this is the time where the record was broken. But for me,
it was against Dakada FC they lost.
Yeah. For me, I think I would say it's disappointing. After winning their last 2 games, one expected them to consolidate on those victory, but their day. They had about 11 corners against 3. Had about 8 shots on target against 3, for the away side. So for me, I think it wasn't just their day. That is just the issue. They considered at the 34th minute of the first half, and after they considered that goal, they fought so hard. They fought gallantly to see if they can be able to, get the equalizer, but it wasn't to be, as their opponent was very, very solid at the back. They are playing what I would call a negative football for me, because after they got that goal, they went back. In fact, about 11 players, you see 11 players on their half. They don't even want to go front again. For me, it's a negative kind of approach, though that is their own pattern. That is the formation or the pattern of the coach, but I'm sure if they take this kind of pattern to Continental, that is only if they can qualify for Continental, encounter. I don't think such negative kind of approach to football in modern era right now is advisable. But for me, in all of this, I think anybody did their best, but their best wasn't enough. But you must also congratulate their opponent, who find a way to tame Enyimba and run away with all 3 points.
Remo Stars, of course, putting up, some impressive performance as well in the Nigerian Premier Football League. I think they've really shown resilience. Since they came down, of course, from the Nigerian National League, to the MPFL, they've really shown resilience. I think they've actually qualified to the continent twice now. That's an impressive one, despite the fact that they've not been able to hold their own when they tend to execute their matches, in the continent. But so far so good. I think when it comes to the management for the team, it's been tough. I think we just talked about the Remo Stars ladies. They played 1-1 draw in the match 3 of the Nigerian Women Football League. So I think for me, the administrators there are really putting up an impressive job. Impressive job.
Definitely, they are putting up an impressive job out there. Only if they can continue to do this. And it's a team that have also walked through the ladder of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Even when they went to the lower division, and they came back very strong. They've hold their own. They can still square up against the big boys out there. And for me, I think if they can continue with this kind of managerial acumen, I see them going far.
All right, let's move on now to bring you the latest coming from the Moshood Abela National Stadium, where the Super Falcons, of course, where that match has ended because it's been an impressive one. It was really an impressive outing for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, but the game, of course, was played at the Moshood Abela National Stadium in Abuja, and Michael was, a goal galore for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It was Super Falcons 5 and Cape Verde 0.
Exactly, just in our sister station right there. I told you we got the first goal very early, even